All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By, here as always with Mike Rossi. We got Andy Garganese with us as well. What's up, boys? How you doing?
Not too
Okay.
bad.
Not too bad.
Andy,
You doing
Andy,
well?
can you go? Can you put the Dino outfit back on, please?
Hey, Mike, why don't you shut your mouth?
That stunk a little bit,
That
huh?
was my favorite. That was my favorite episode to just watch the whole time. Like, there's other ones that were better listens, but that one just to watch it, I just was laughing the whole time.
Yeah, it was great. So happy. You
So
guys
happy you
waited
enjoyed it.
until waited until I texted. I was like, man, I really don't like my DraftKings lineup. You're like, oh, you guys want to put a bet on this week's DraftKings? Awesome.
Yeah, but usually when you don't like a DK lineup, it ends up being the best one.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's true with anything in fantasy, it seems like.
Except for when you bet stupid outfit on it, I guess.
Yeah,
Then you just have the worst lineup.
yeah. Or
Then it's just
if
locked
you
in.
bet on kickers.
Yeah,
Who bets on kickers, man? I mean,
Joe's
honestly.
not here
Yeah,
because he got dragged out to a fucking cornfield and beat to death and thrown in a hole because he owns some people some money.
for betting on kickers. That's what it's
On
come to
kickers.
with him. That's what
Betting
it's
on
come down to.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, we
That's
got a
all he's got, man.
pack show. What's that?
I said that's all he's got. That's all he had for the Monday night game was kickers. That's how bad of a matchup it was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. That was a disgusting game. All right, show today. We got our start, sit, sleep. We got believer meter. We got Mike's padlock of the week. We got rapid fire questions, and we're going to give our DK lineups. So, Michael, start us out with your start of the week.
All right, I'm gonna start us off with a guy that we haven't really talked about much on this podcast, but my start of the week is Kyle Pitts.
Who?
I've never heard that name.
He's the tight end for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I haven't said much about him this whole year, but Andy, you asked for it all season. When is Heineke coming in? When is he going to get the start? They finally benched Ritter. This is his time, right? Heineke's going. What he's going to do? He's going to go out there and chuck it. He doesn't give a shit. What does he have to lose? He knows he's the backup for. He's the career backup that's just going to come out and chuck the ball. Who's he going to chuck it to? Drake London has a groin injury. What is it going to be? Mac Hollins? Jonnu Smith? No, it's going to be Kyle Pitts is the guy he's going to chuck it to. So put him in your lineup.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Jonnu Smith the way this year's been going.
You can't really chuck it to Jonnu Smith. He's not going to be that far down the field.
You got 8 yards to get that done.
That's true. I saw a thing that Laporta has just as many career touchdown catches as Kyle Pitts. They both have 4.
Yeah. You could do that with a lot of players. He doesn't have many.
All right. Andy, you just start.
My start of the week is Gus Edwards. Joe's not here, so I got to fill in for him. No, he had a good week. I know Dougie's a big fan of selling him. That's good advice, but I do think he's still in line for another week. And if he's a flex play, even if you've got 2 solid running backs that you start every week, I think you find a way to get him in your lineup. He should have another, at least 20 touches this week. So get the bus Gus in there if you can.
Yeah, and they didn't trade for anybody. There was a lot of talk of Derrick Henry to the Ravens. That quieted down, obviously, and didn't happen. So Gus is the guy there, and running backs are at a premium. So I don't mind it this week, sure. And I think everybody's going to start him this week after a 3 touchdown week. So
yeah.
All right, my guy, my boy is CJ Stroud. We haven't talked a lot about him. Andy, I think you talked about him once. Just either you or Joe talking about just how good he's been as a rookie. It was Andy. And so this week he's against the 28th ranked team for pass yards allowed, and that's the Bucks. And he had a down week last week, so I look for them to come back with a little bounce back and actually throw the ball because that's what they do well, right? They have Singletary and Pierce, who's doing nothing this year. And on offense, it's the skill players on offense. They're in the passing game. They got Nico, they got Tank, they got Woods, they got Schultz. So get back to the passing game. I like them this week in a bounce back game. So go start CJ Stroud with some confidence.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, Mike, who's your sit?
My sit of the week is Romeo Dobbs. This is going right along with my Christian Watson as the buy low candidate. I just think it's inevitable that he's going to come out and take that number one receiver role. And then you sprinkle in the check downs, Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave. I just think Jordan Love can't produce enough to support all these players. And Christian Watson and Aaron Jones are the two dynamic ones on this offense.
All right. Yeah. I hope Aaron Jones comes around because he's been banged up, and
I think he didn't practice today, and it might be hamstring related. So if he re-aggravated that hamstring, that just fucking blows because he played 2 weeks, and obviously Joe made a big stink about it last episode on his beef of the week. But if he just can't get over that hamstring, that's just rough.
yeah. What is he? 29 years old, something like that. So he is getting older as a back. But last year, I think efficiency wise, he was still averaging over 5 yards a carry. So he was still there last year. Just injuries have derailed him so far this year. All right, Andy.
Week one of this year, he was actually real quick. Week one, week one of this year, he had the most fantasy points per touch in the league. He had the best week out of everybody.
Week one of this year? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I remember looking at that, and I meant to bring it up for the past 7 weeks after that, but he's always been hurt. So now I'm going to use that stat.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So it's still there, you're saying?
Yeah.
Andy, who's your sit?
Speaking of hamstrings, I'm sitting Tyler Lockett. Sammy's tight. I think he's gonna play this week, but they're playing the Ravens, who are just very, very good on both sides of the ball. Their defense is legitimate. And I don't like any offense really going up against them, let alone, Geno Smith's been a little inconsistent, and DK's gonna get his. We went over that. JSN's kind of taking, the next step. So a hamstring, couple, sprinkle in over the top of that. I'm sitting Lockett this week.
I don't mind that. It's probably tough to sit him for a lot of people, but if you can, I don't mind it because they are against the number one D, right, this week. So
yeah,
the Ravens.
I was actually going to have JSN as my sit of the week, but then I was like, fuck, I can't have two Seahawks and mine be the less bold move than Andy's.
Yeah, that's
so
bold.
I had to take, I couldn't take, I had to take him out of there.
I like it. All right, my sit is Jacoby Myers. The offense on Monday night, it just looked like crap. They came out either today or yesterday saying they're sitting Jimmy G, right? So they're going Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah. Who is a gunslinger a little bit, I think, right?
Is he? I don't know much about him. All I know is last time he did start, Jacoby Myers disappeared. Jacoby Myers had 2 catches for 33 yards. I see them forcing the issue with Devontae this week, right? I mean, he's so pissed off about everything about that team right now. And I think they're going to force the issue with him. And the other thing is the Giants D actually against the pass is kind of okay. That's not the problem with that team. They're 12th in yards allowed, pass yards allowed. So I don't know. I'd say sit Jacoby Myers until he kind of proves that he can do it with Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, I like that.
Fully agree. Yeah, fully agree.
All right, Mike, who's your sleep?
My sleeper of the week is Brandon Cooks. He's come out the last 2 weeks. He put up over 12 points. So he's been gradually producing a little bit. This offense came out of the bye and they looked great last week against the Rams. And now Dallas gets to play the 32nd ranked defense against wide receivers. We won't mention who they're playing. But he's going to get it done. So have confidence in putting Cooks in your lineup.
Who are they playing, by the way?
Yeah, who are they playing, Mike?
I don't know. I forget.
Some team that wears green.
They're going to lose. That's all that matters is they are going to lose. And they might be so far behind that it's just garbage time. So do it either way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some Mike Bold statements now.
Here we go. Yeah. Doesn't take much. Just turn the knife a little bit.
That's all you gotta do. I'll do the rest, man.
Andy, who's your sleep?
My sleeper. Khalil Shakur, a little bit of a homer one here, but I was gonna say Kincaid. I don't think I can really say Kincaid anymore. He's not much of a sleeper, right? After these last 2 weeks, especially with Knox not playing. But I think Shakur is. He was on our waiver pickup. His own percentage is still very low. I think he was like 3,700 or 3,300 on DraftKings. So he qualifies. He's gonna get the looks. I expect this game to be well played, all phases on both sides. So maybe not a crazy back and forth, but I think 7, 8 targets is legitimate. And if you really need a spot start, or if you really need somebody cheap in your lineup, if he makes the most of those targets, I think that's good. That's good return on investment there.
Yeah, he looked good, man. He definitely passed the eye test, which the guy I'm going to talk about, pretty much I'm going to say the same thing. But do you think he's going to be the next Cole Beasley?
No, they seem to think that's Kincaid, but Bills people that watch the Bills a lot, even last year, he's every time Shakur's in, he looks the part. He's a little bit bigger than he looks. He plays like a small guy, but he's a legit 6 feet. He's quick in and out of his cuts. He's got good hands, though he seems to drop the easy ones. But yeah, I mean, he's always looked the part. So the fact that he's getting on the field and he's getting the targets is a good sign.
Yeah, that's all that offense needs is another fucking weapon, huh?
Yes.
No, they look good. All right. My sleep is another homer pick, and it's Demario Pop Davis. Douglas, sorry. Demario Pop Douglas. How do I get that part of it wrong?
Is that a defensive player, Demario Davis, right?
It might be.
Yeah.
Texans. Am I right?
Saints, I think.
Saints. You are right.
Saints is right, yeah.
Yep. All right. So my guy, the reason I'm going with him, I don't have a lot of big stats for him, like I did with some of the other stuff. That's not the route I'm taking so much. But the last 2 weeks, he has had 6 and 7 targets. Now that Kendrick Bourne's out for the year, I think he's going to get a lot more looks. So I think 6, 7, 8, 9 targets is going to be the norm now for him the rest of the way. He definitely has the skill set. Again, like I said with Shakir, he kind of passes the eye test. He's quick. He's smaller than Shakir. He's definitely like all of like 5'8" probably. But he's quick, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that.
He looks good. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with 5'8" at all. I agree with
Some people wish they were 5'8", right?
Some people aspire to 5'8",
that. Anyways, I like him the rest of the way, and I definitely like him this week. Get him in your lineup because I'm not sure about Parker either. I think he's banged up from this last game, so it's gonna be him and Juju, right? And maybe Tyquan Thornton. So I like Pop out of those three.
He's the
If
only
you gotta
one
like
with any pop.
somebody, yeah. I was gonna say if you gotta like somebody, it's definitely him. Now
Yeah,
he
I
looked good
guess-
against the Bills. I try not to watch the Pats as much as possible, but he looked good. He looked good. He did every time he touched the ball. He looked good.
Yeah, he's a little speedster. It's kind of.
Can we
He's like
just talk real quick about? Sorry, I just completely just got dug off again. I always do that.
Good.
I'm sitting here looking at these matchups. Have you guys looked at how much good football we have this weekend?
Oh yeah, every time slot
is.
too.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Andy and I were
Chiefs,
talking about that when you were
Dolphins.
taking a shit.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
A lot of time. We talked in depth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Felt like forever. We were
It
talking
did,
about
man.
I was done before you even got done with your DK lineup.
it. That's the time. That takes time.
That takes time, man. There's a lot of thought put
There
into
is some
that.
good football. I'm just looking Chiefs, Dolphins, Cowboys, Eagles, Bills, Bengals, and then even Seahawks, Ravens. Like there's a lot of big games this weekend. This is
Yeah.
A lot of
exciting.
good games. Yeah, this is a good week of football.
And especially with the Chiefs Dolphins being the first game, at the 9:30 game, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a
that's in
lot of
Germany,
lazy,
right?
Yeah.
Is it Germany? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of
I don't know.
lazy husbands just sitting on the couch all day long. watching
Why I
football.
don't
All
I
right,
don't want
guys.
to like go off on a rant here, but I fucking hate this overseas games. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't like
They
the
need to
9:30
figure
thing,
something out.
but they do need to figure something out. I don't mind a team that's gonna be in London. We talked about this a little bit before. I don't mind that much because it is gonna just expand the game, and that's not a bad thing.
They tried this already though. They tried NFL Europe
NFL
when we were
Europe.
all younger.
That's different. That's
right?
different.
It
That was
didn't
scrubs.
work because the products suck, and now every single one of these London games and now this Munich game, they all suck. I mean, if the Chiefs and the Dolphins have a bad football game, a not fun to watch football game, it's time to scrap it. It's over right there.
That's
Because
two of
those
the
are
best offenses in the league.
two of the top 5 most fun teams to watch in the league. So
Yeah.
if they suck, it's over.
There
Hopefully.
probably is some higher ups kind of worried about that. You might be onto something there. All right, let's jump to our believer meter. You guys ready for that?
It's weird without Joe and Joe singing a little tune before that.
Yeah, he's a songbird. That G Money. All right. First guy, Will Levis. This past week, man, he had 238 yards passing with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. How much do you guys believe in him? You think he's gonna do it or what? So I got a 5. Mike's got pie because he's got to do it every week.
Is pie.
Andy's
That's
got
a 6.
6.
I really got to go back to second grade.
No, you're good. You're good. I got it, man. All right. Mike, go ahead and talk about it because you're not a believer.
Not yet. I mean, I just it's one game, and I think when you look at the Titans so far, they just weren't throwing the deep ball all year. Tannehill couldn't do it, so there wasn't much time to prepare for Will Levis. And yeah, maybe they caught a few bombs, but Pittsburgh's got a good defense this week. And I mean, yeah, their secondary is not good, but TJ Watt's going to be given pressure. So let's see what he can do when he's under duress and see if he can still get him out there in time.
I hope for the Titans that they found a quarterback because Tannehill has not been it the last couple of years.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Levis is fine. Matchup this week isn't great. I agree with you there. But for the rest of the season, I think he's one, you kind of have to play him, and 2, right there, he almost went 4th overall this year. There was the whole talk, right? Him and Anthony Richardson, who's going to go 4. Whoever doesn't's probably going to slide. I mean, we loved Anthony Richardson, right? He's on the Colts. He's got the running potential. We don't know about him throwing. It's the exact same thing with Will Levis. There's no reason not to like him. He's on a team that has probably more skilled players than Indy, slightly, maybe not, but a decent line, and he can run, and he looked good in the first week. So I don't, and the investment to get him probably wasn't a lot. So I like Levis going forward.
Yeah, I like it. I'm surprised they didn't try to trade Tannehill, honestly, at the deadline. But again, we've talked about it. It's so hard to trade. So
what are you going to get for Tannehill?
Well, yeah, I know, but you're not going to get anything from him as a starter anymore either. I don't think.
But the cap hit's probably more than what you're getting. It's just probably not worth it.
Yeah, he's probably just going to get dumped next year in the offseason. All right, next guy, Jahan Dotson. This past week, he lit up a terrible secondary. He had 8 receptions for 108 yards and a touchdown. Who was that he played?
Who did he play?
Eagles, I believe. So I got a 3. Mike's got a 7. Andy's got a 5. Mike just went silent, so that's it. Mike, you're a believer, dude. Is it because you saw it?
Because it wasn't. No, I saw that whole game.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the secondary he was playing. I think Sam Howell just finally realized, like, oh, who the fuck's this guy that's always wide open? He's super fast. Who is this dude? That's not Curtis Samuel or Jamison Crowder. And it's Jahan Dotson, the guy that they put a 1st-round pick on for last year. Like, yeah, they're gonna finally use him. I think Sam Howell's getting more comfortable. This offensive line actually looks better. The Eagles have a very good pass rush, and they didn't get to him much. So Curtis Samuel's still banged up. Terry McLaurin dropped a few balls last week. I think Jahan Dotson has a clear path to become Howell's go-to guy.
That seems ambitious, but all right.
I just really like Jahan Dotson, guys.
Yeah, it's fine to like him. I'm all right with it. But his go-to guy, I think Terry's kind of got that one sewed up.
I agree. I agree with that. It's scary Terry's for sure. I thought Jahan Dotson was going to be a lot better though. I drafted him in my league, and dropped his ass 2 weeks ago. Look what happens. I dropped him after that 0 target, 0 reception game.
It's a droppable offense.
It is, man. It is. And he hasn't done anything this year until then. So we'll see. I hope he does, man, because I do think he's talented. All right, next guy, Trey McBride. What did he do this past week? This past week he had 14 targets, 10 receptions, 95 yards. So I got a 6. Andy's got a 4.
7.
You going 7, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. So Andy, go ahead and talk about your 4 first. Then.
He looks fine, but I don't know. It's kind of the Levis argument, right? He's looked good. I think it was a couple weeks in a row, but he doesn't look great. Everybody's due to have a big game at some point. I think it's more of a squirrel finding a nut than I think it's going to be consistent. I will say that tight end's so light that it's, he was worth spending money on or burning the ticket, whatever you got to do. But I wasn't going to spend a lot on him. I don't know. The whole offense, unless you're James Conner, I'm pretty much staying away from him.
All right. Mike, you're a believer though.
Yeah, I think we kind of said it in the waiver show a little bit. He showed that he was explosive. Like I don't understand why he hasn't gotten time over Zach Ertz before this. And 14 targets, 10 for 95 and a touchdown. That not many tight ends can just come out and have a one-off game that good. That's actually showing you have what it takes. So I believe in him. Maybe not this week. I don't, because they have Clayton Tune starting, and who knows how many passing yards. Isn't Clayton Tune the guy that the video preseason was going around with the clown music? He was throwing it off his own lineman's helmets. I think that was Clayton Tune. But he's not a good quarterback, and there might not be many passing yards to go around this week. But if he can do that with Josh Dobbs, then when Kyler comes back and, he's rushing around and actually throwing for 250, 300 yards, I think Trey McBride could be a big part of that.
Yeah, I like that. Also, to your point, a tight end that gets 10 receptions, I'll take that as a believer way more than a tight end that gets like 2 touchdowns, like a Kate Otten or something like that.
Yeah.
That's fluky. 10 receptions isn't as fluky. All right, let's talk another tight end, Taysom Hill. We talked about him a little bit as a champ, right, this past week. So he's had a couple of good games he's put together now. This past week he had 9 carries for 63 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he added a catch for 14 yards. Where you guys out on him now? I got a 7.
I think
Andy's got a 5. Mike, what do you got? You got a 6. Okay. What were you gonna say, Mike?
I think this is 2 weeks in a row he's been on here.
It might be, yeah, because he had a good week. It's been 2 weeks in a row. He's had a good week. So I'm starting to believe. Mike, you're starting to believe?
A little bit. I think last time it might have been a 4 on my scale, and I said he's boom or bust, but he came out and showed that it could be a boom boom game instead of boom then bust. So he's not one or the other. He got 2 in a row, and he's getting the goal line carries. So that's what I think is most important, is he's taking the Jamal Williams role. They're just lining up straight in Wildcat, and it can't be stopped right now. So if they get down to the 2-3 yard line, then that might just be Taysom Hill territory.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what we were talking about. And he's actually, this past week, he didn't get as many targets, but the week prior, he was getting some targets as a legit tight end. So I don't know. Andy, you're not buying it, though.
This is who Taysom Hill is. This is what happens every year, right? You come in and you go, oh,
You all
yeah, I
get
don't know, he's
excited.
gonna have a big year, and then he doesn't do anything and he gets dropped, and then you pick him up on the waiver wire because he gets a throwing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, he smokes somebody on special teams, and then he does it again the next week, and then you fucking drop him again. It's just, this is the cycle. So it's a 5. I'm just staying at a 5 because I've seen this movie before. He is who he is. His role doesn't change. He's a gadget all around, does everything for your offense, and sometimes it produces and sometimes it doesn't. And that's just, there's no rhyme or reason why.
Yeah, I think we're all just hoping that eventually they get it and they're like, all right, yeah, let's have this guy in the field all the time and make him a weapon. But he definitely hasn't been. And what is he, like 33 years old now? So
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
old.
I don't think all of a
Is he
sudden
33?
he's older, man. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep. but there's not a lot of wear and tear on that body, because I think he was an older rookie, I
Yeah,
believe, when he came
I
into
think
it.
he's a BYU dude. All those dudes come out of BYU. The fucking Mormons, they come out. They're fucking 30 years old, graduating college, churning butter for 12 years, whatever the fuck they do out there. Uh,
That's great.
So maybe there's a little wear and tear if he's been churning butter.
yeah.
All right, next guy, Calvin Ridley. He had 10 targets this past week, which is the most since week 1 when he had 11. 6 receptions for 83 yards. No touchdowns because Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw those. But pretty solid week for him. Where you guys at? I got a 6. Andy's got a 5. Mike's got a 7. All right, Mike, talk about your 7.
I hate that I believe in it again because I made him my padlock, right? So I saw a big week coming and he didn't disappoint. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do. So much so that Trevor Lawrence threw the ugliest goal line pass I've ever seen in my life. It was Calvin Ridley, like out of the back of the end zone, basically, and he threw it right to 3 defenders, just trying to force feed him the ball. But when he did get him the ball, he looked good. He looked like the Calvin Ridley we saw in week 1. And I think it could stay. And I really, and if anything, what are the Jags 6-2? So if Trevor just keeps getting better and he can actually learn how to throw the ball in the red zone, then Calvin stock's going to just keep going up.
Hope you're right, man, because I have some stock in Calvin Ridley for sure. I got him in like 3 teams. But Andy, you're 5. You're not buying it. You're kind of thinking, don't get fooled again, kind of thing.
Yeah. I just don't want to be hurt again. I think I had Calvin Ridley as like my wide receiver. I want to say he was wide receiver 13 or 14 coming into the year for me, and he's just been huge disappointment. So I'm not gonna let one game move the needle too much. But I would love to see him kind of round into shape here.
Yeah, stack some together here. I agree.
Andy, what do you think on the year? Where is he for wide receiver what?
Oh my God.
I don't know it yet. I'm looking it up right now.
I'm gonna say like 32, 28,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range.
I'm gonna say 25.
It's actually wide receiver 35 on the year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, not great.
Oh wow. I thought he was flirting with number 2. With wide receiver 2. All right. That is believer meter, boys. Let's jump to another favorite segment here. And Mike, did you hit it last week?
No, I didn't. I just told you it was Calvin Ridley, and Trevor Lawrence couldn't throw him the ball in the end zone.
I didn't listen.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Mike's padlock of the week. Take it away.
All right, guys, I went touchdown again because that's all I know how to do is just guarantee a touchdown and then not come through on the touchdown. So my padlock of the week for a touchdown is Zach Moss. This guy just won't go away. JT's back. You think, this is his backfield, but still had 11 carries last week, 18 carries the week before, and he's producing with his carries. It's not like they're just sticking him in there because what he did before JT. He looks good when he's out there. So, obviously JT's taking away the bulk of his targets, but the short yardage downs, that's Zach Moss territory, and that includes the goal line. He was able to punch one in last week from the 2-yard line. He's going against a weak Carolina defense right now. So lock it in. He's doing it again this week.
Zach Moss, Mike Rossi's padlock of the week.
Andy hates it.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it. I just.
Well, what are you? 2 for 5? Something like that? What are you?
Shut up, Doug.
No, what are you? I'm asking.
I don't know. I have no idea what I am. I think 2 for 5 sounds right.
That's why we call it the padlock.
Very breakable. But 4 out of 5 had good weeks when I said they were going to score a touchdown. So just don't bet the touchdown with my padlock. Just put them in your DK lineup or something.
All right. Yeah. That's good advice too. All right. Let's jump into our rapid fire questions. Andy, this is your first time doing it. We're going to try to be quick. 1-word answers. You guys ready?
Ready.
All right. Rapid fire questions. Question 1. Over or under 99 yards for Tyreek in his revenge game versus KC.
Over.
Under.
Buy or sell Cooper Kupp is a wide receiver 1 at Green Bay.
Sell.
Sell.
George Pickens versus Tennessee or DJ Moore at New Orleans.
DJ.
DJ.
Over or under half a touchdown for Dalton Kincaid at Cincy.
Over.
I'm gonna go under.
Derek Carr versus Chicago or Geno Smith at Baltimore.
Derek Carr.
Carr.
Buy or sell Akers gets more fantasy points than Madison at Atlanta.
Bye.
Bye.
Trey McBride at Cleveland or Logan Thomas at New England.
McBride.
Fred McBride.
Over under 7 catches for Kamara versus Chicago.
Over.
Over.
Buy or sell Gardner Minshew cracks the top 12 QBs at Carolina.
Sell.
No. Sell. Yeah. No. Sell. Whatever.
Over under 15 fantasy points for Eckler at New York Jets.
Over.
I'm gonna go over.
All right. That's a rapid fire questions.
I
Good
think
job.
we were 9 on 10 on the same ones on that one.
I didn't
Really? You
listen to
keep
one
track
thing
of
you
that?
said.
Yeah,
What
I
did
can't
you-
keep track of that
What
stuff.
did you say?
Not bad.
I said I
though.
think we were
Good job.
9 out of 10 with the same answers.
No, I think so. Kincaid was different.
And then
yeah,
maybe
Tyreek
I might have
Tyreek
one
was
more.
different too. Tyreek was
Tyreek,
different.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think it was just
so
those
maybe
two.
two,
Yeah.
which hurts my feelings.
All right, good job, Andy, on your first try at that.
Thanks. I'm shaking over here.
Did you enjoy it? It's fun,
Yeah,
no?
no, it was good. Just do an hour of that.
Yeah, just
Seriously. Doug, just come up with 1,000 questions
Yeah,
for
right.
every episode. What the fuck, man?
do something. All right, let's do our DK lineup. Let's get $1 million winner here.
There we go.
Mike, start with the quarterback.
My quarterback, I just mentioned him I just took the bye on rapid fire. I'm going Derek Carr. He's going against Chicago. He's 5,700. Chicago just isn't a good team. And I think Derek Carr is going to come out and get it done.
All right. I hate anything about betting on Derek Carr. That guy, he also seems like a dickhead too, doesn't he? Like
Yeah,
he was
does
just
he wear
weird, like-
eyeliner?
Well, I was gonna say, it looks like he wears makeup.
yeah, what was
Yeah,
that?
it
Yeah,
does.
so he's got some issues going on. All right, Andy, who's your
He has some
quarterback?
issues. You're a guy who wears
Listen.
eyeliner.
Just want to let you know when I wrote this, I was listening to The Cure a lot. Yeah, fuck Derek Carr. My quarterback is Derek Carr.
You fucking asshole.
So I don't want to even talk about this anymore. Doug, who's your
Move on. All right, we'll move on. All right, we'll go to my start, who's CJ Stroud. I talked about him a lot already, but he's 6,200, and he's against the 25th ranked defense against the pass. Mike, who is your running backs?
All right, I'm gonna say both of them this time. First try. You're not gonna have to tell me to say the second one. All right, I'm pairing them up with Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara. So you said over under 7 catches. Obviously, if I'm picking them with Carr, I think it's gonna be over. He's 8,100 against Chicago. I think he was the most expensive running back this week, but DK, that's a PPR league. He's a great option. And then my second running back, I got Rachaad White going against the Houston Texans. I think that Buccaneers, I really think they can pull away with this one. I don't think it's going to be a close matchup. And even if it is a close matchup, Rachaad White has been getting all the checkdowns, and he looks good with them too. So 5,600, I think that's a good matchup.
All right, Andy, who's your running backs?
I got Jerome Ford. He's playing at home versus Cleveland. He's 5,300. I think he's feeling a little bit better, so I expect a big game out of him. And then I got Jonathan Taylor at Carolina. He is 6,400. Carolina's, I mean, they're not great defensively anywhere, but they do shut down the pass a little bit more than they stop the run, where they're terrible. So I expect Jonathan Taylor kind of assume his natural role in that offense and have a big day.
So
You don't
you're
agree with
saying
my
no.
padlock.
Yeah, you're saying no to his padlock. That's why you didn't like it. I'm with you, man. I got Jonathan Taylor. That's one of my running backs.
Man.
It was weird though. Last week in the second half, he didn't run the ball at all. He had 2 carries in the second half. last week, didn't he? It was something strange about that. I don't know what it was, but anyway, he was 6,400, like you said. And Carolina sucks against the run. They're 31st ranked against the run on D. So I like him this week a lot. I went Bijan for my second one. He was 6,100. I'm hoping that I think Mike, I think you put it in a group message. I'm hoping that they were watching Detroit and were like, "Oh, that's what rookie running backs do that you draft in the first round." So
Yeah.
I'm hoping they let him loose. And again, he was 6,100. So I'm all about Bijan this week.
But you're forgetting that Arthur Smith is their coach.
Oh shit!
So
I got
Cordell Patterson might have more carries than
Cordell
Bijan
Stewart
Hurts.
might get more carries than Bijan.
Wow, remember Cordell? That guy was good.
He was fun. He was fun to watch. Slash, right?
He was,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, Mike. Your wide receivers.
Wide receivers. Doug, you touched on it a little bit earlier. I think Aiden O'Connell is just going to force feed Devontae Adams the ball. Again, Devontae Adams is very highly priced. He's 8,100. He might have been, I think, the third most expensive wide receiver. But if you're Aiden O'Connell and you want to start a second week, you better make Devontae Adams happy. Just throw him the ball. My second wide receiver, I got Nico Collins. I just said that I think the Bucs are going to come up early, and it might be garbage time. But I mean, Nico's the best receiver on this team, and for 5,800, the Bucs aren't a good secondary. I'll take that. And then my third one is my sleeper of the week. It's Brandon Cooks. Again, he's going against a weak secondary, and he's 4,400, so I think he can get it done.
All right, I like those. Andy, who's your wide receivers?
Oh, first up, I have Nico Collins.
Hey,
There you go.
Hey.
I think I don't know if Mike said he was 5,800, but
Yeah.
5,800 bucks should be a good home game for him. I think we've been kind of expecting a nice big bounce back week for him. I took Derek Carr because I got Chris Olave here. I just feel like at some point he has to get like a fucking 12 target, 10 catch game for 120 yards, whatever it is, and why not against Chicago because they stink. And then I'm going a little bit cheaper. Olave was 6,300. My cheap wide receiver, kind of cheap. Christian Watson, 4,900. The Rams looked awful last week. And Watson's due for one of those, 40, 50, 60-yard touchdowns. It's coming at some point, so why not this week?
He almost had one a few weeks ago. That's the whole thing is like we saw that a lot last year with Rodgers. We haven't seen it yet with Love. So I hope you're right.
I think they're same caliber quarterbacks. So I don't see why.
That's true. They are similar.
Jordan Love sure thinks he's Aaron Rodgers when he throws the ball. It's incredible.
So.
You ever see he does his mannerisms are like the exact same. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that little flick, that quick little flick.
Yep. And he does like the way. Yeah.
It's just like 10 miles per hour slower of a pass. All right. So I'm on the same page with you, Andy. I had Chris Olave. Again, he was at 6,300. I agree. He's due for one. Again, I don't like going with Derek Carr, but he looked pretty good last week. And I got Nico Collins as well because I'm stacking him with CJ Stroud, 5,800. And then I got my sleeper, who is Demario Douglas, and he was only 4,000. So I like that a lot because I think he is going to be the number one wide receiver that Mac's going to be looking at. It's Mac targets, but still.
Doug, who are your running backs?
My running backs are Jonathan Taylor and Bijan Robinson.
Wow, you haven't spent much money yet. You must have a big tight end coming up or a big flex.
Flex, yeah. I spent a flex. Mike's getting excited.
Yeah, he's getting all giddy.
Yeah. I always like to try to guess people's lineups before it happens.
Who's your tight end?
All right. Can you guys guess who my tight end is?
I'm gonna guess it's Kyle Pitts. Yes. Yep.
Kyle Pitts.
There it is.
Start of the week. He's 4,100 against Vikings. We already talked about it. Heineke. He's gonna chuck it to somebody. I'm just hoping that it's Kyle Pitts.
All right. Terrible pick. Andy, who's yours?
Thank you.
I took Dallas Goedert. I think the weakest part of that Dallas defense is probably right in the middle of that linebacker level. I think they're gonna I mean, you have to throw everything you possibly can at AJ Brown because the man's a freak. So, I mean, it's Devonta Smith or it's Dallas Goedert. That's probably going to get a nice game out of this. So I'm hoping for Goddard.
Yeah, I do like that as well because I almost went Goddard. And how much did you say he was? 4,800 or something? 40.
Yeah, 48.
48.
He's 48.
Yeah, I almost went that route. I went Taysom Hill, who was 100 less, only because I like the higher upside for a DK lineup with Taysom Hill of what he can do touchdown wise. Because Goddard, usually he hasn't been a big touchdown guy throughout his career. So that's why I went Taysom Hill. Mike, who's your flex?
My flex, I got DJ Moore. We talked about he's boom or bust, and I think this could be a boom game. He's going against the Saints. We already know that. We already have Derek Carr, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara. So we have Taysom Hill. We have big pieces of the Saints offense. So if they're going to be scoring a lot, then the Bears are going to have to try to keep up. And DJ Moore's the only guy that can help them do that. So he's 5,900. So I'm just guessing for the boom this week.
Hope you're right about that one too. So like I said, I got a lot of stock in him as well. Andy, who's your flex?
For $7,000, I got Chris Godwin at Houston. I know Houston statistically is pretty good against the pass, but I mean, they're just a bad team that I think's not getting thrown on a lot in the second half. Godwin has really, really come on strong here lately. He was great against the Bills last week. I'm hoping that trend continues.
Yeah, he's always a good. He's always a good one for a full PPR. You know that. So my I was gonna say, Mike, do you want to try to guess my flex or no?
No, I have no idea how much. Tell me how much.
I'll give you the
you
money, but
spent
don't
on
look.
it.
I'm gonna watch those eyes. Don't look over.
I'm not looking. I'm not.
All
Yeah,
right.
got it.
8,200.
8,200. Oh Jesus, I have no
AJ
idea.
Brown?
Cooper Kupp was 85. Yeah, AJ Brown is 8,200. That's right.
No, I think AJ was like 86. I think
Yeah, that's not bad.
because I would have gone AJ,
No, I
but
think he was 82.
I went CD Lamb. I went the other route.
Oh yeah, he was 86. Oh, CD. That's a good play.
I like it. I like it. he had his coming out party last week, and it should continue against the Eagles. All right, Mike, who's your defense?
I went bottom of the barrel. I went Giants defense 2,300. They actually haven't looked terrible lately. And again, we got a Aiden O'Connell that's just going to try force feeding the ball to Devontae Adams. They're going to come. The Giants are going to come down with a couple of them probably. So 2,300, I'll take it.
All right, Andy, who did you go with?
3,700 is probably the most I've ever spent on defense, and I don't anticipate this probably lasting until Sunday. But I have, as of now, I have the Falcons. Yeah, I mean they're going up against Minnesota, they just got to be devastated. They got nothing going on. I don't even know. Like Josh Dobbs can't possibly start, right? So
no, it's like Justin. Is it Justin Hall? Is that his name? He's a rookie.
He's from BYU.
Something Hall. I
think
which means he's 30 years old. So,
well, he was churning butter, man. He was busy.
Great shoulders. Yeah, he's not going to do shit. So, as of now, it's the Falcons.
All right. I also went the Giants for basically every reason that Mike said. The defense hasn't really been their problem this year, as I said earlier. So, and against Aiden O'Connell, I like it. And
it's Jaron Hall.
Jaron Hall. And as you said, Andy, this definitely can change. We'll probably change and tweak these things a little bit. But as of right now, this is what we're going with. On Saturday morning on the Instagram page, we'll have the official ones, right? Or Saturday at some point in time. Sorry, Mike. I don't want to say Saturday morning. Go ahead, Mike.
The People's Fantasy Football.
There you go.
Get the plug in.
All right.
We have a buddy that listens to every episode, and he absolutely hates when we plug.
How come?
He's like, I just want to listen to fantasy football. I don't want to listen to subscribe now, smash the button. It's like, dude, we're not going that far.
I don't think we plug a lot of stuff. I think we only plug Instagram, isn't it?
No, just the Instagram. Yeah.
We don't have ads. We're not.
No. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll drive him away.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day we can get rid of that fucking loyal listener. All right. Mike, you got some stayaways?
I do. This is 3 weeks in a row. I got one for every position.
All right. Go right down the list.
Quarterback, Geno Smith. He's 6,000. He's playing Baltimore. They're number one against the pass. So I just would stay away. 7,900. I'm staying away from Saquon. Even though it's an easy matchup, I just don't trust this offense to do much. And he had 18 points last week, but he had 36 carries. He's not going to do that again this week. So I just think it's too expensive. At 8,500, it's too expensive for Cooper Kupp. And for 7,400, I'm staying away from Puka too. They're going against a good secondary. And even if Stafford does play, I don't think he's going to have much pop in his throw. At tight end, I'm staying away from Dalton Schultz at 4,200. Only because if you go $100 cheaper, you can get Kyle Pitts. So just go Kyle Pitts instead of Dalton Schultz. And then defense, 3,900. I'm staying away from the Cowboys for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons. How much were they? 3,900, is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's expensive for going up against the Eagles. That's kind of surprising.
It is.
Yeah, that's a good one then. It's a good stay away. Andy, who are your stayaways?
So quarterback, I got Justin Fields. I'm staying away from. We know how I feel about Fields, and he's banged up and possibly they're trying to keep him in the pocket. He's losing that rushing ability or some of it. I'm staying away from him. He's at New Orleans, pretty good defense.
Quick question on that, Andy. Sorry.
Ooh, okay.
Quick question. Not to derail you, but you're staying away from him on DK, probably more money wise. If you have him, are you playing him this week?
Depends who my backup is. Probably, because once again, if you drafted Fields, you probably got him around 4 or 6. So yeah, it depends. But yeah, if you can go on the opposite side of that and grab Carr, I would.
Well, let me give you an example of a super flex.
Oh,
and it's mine. It's mine. So I have Sam Howell, Geno Smith, and Justin Fields. You plugging Justin Fields in there for one of those guys?
I'm probably going. Wait, who's Howell playing? I can't remember the
Patriots.
Skins are playing. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go Howell and Fields. Yeah,
Howell and Fields. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go that route. Thanks, guys.
That's what we're here for, man.
All right.
Shut up, Mike. Stop saying everything I said, Mike.
I'm saying it first. God damn it.
This is like when you loot boxes in Call of Duty. You're never there first.
Sorry to derail it. Go on with your
running back. Damian Pierce looks like he is more and more in a timeshare with Devin Singletary every week. And they're at Tampa Bay, whose defense is pretty good. Their linebackers are great. So I'm avoiding him. Don't know how much he has in DK. I don't have any of that written down. Wide receivers, Jacoby Myers. I mean, we don't have to go over that again. Stay away. And then Darren Waller's banged up. I don't think he's gonna play, but if he tries to play, don't do it. Just don't do it. That offense is terrible. Yeah, he's hurt. And then defense. I mean, realistically, there's 3 defenses over $4,000 in DraftKings. Just stay away from them. Don't ever spend that kind of money on a defense in your daily fantasy sports.
Couldn't agree more. Never do. I wonder how much that actually hits, man. You know, that the highest one is going to be the most points scored.
Yeah, and even when in an average week, what's the best defense score? Maybe you get a pick, maybe a pick 6.
What's the pick 6? Yeah.
Right. What do you really get though?
But the pick 6 are so random. They're so random. So
they're right. Exactly. Yeah.
You just never know. All right. So my stayaways, same as you, Mike. Geno Smith against Baltimore, number 1 D against the pass, 6,000. I'm staying away from Tony Pollard. I'm surprised you didn't have him on there, Mike, against Philly. He was 6,800.
Yeah.
And Philly's first against the run.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna have I wanted to put him on there, but I said to sit Brian Robinson last week, and he still put up 10 fantasy points. So I just think, even though the Eagles defense is good, he can still produce a little bit.
Yeah, Pollard's due. I think it's the fact that they are a really good D against the run, and it's 6,800. That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's changed. Yeah.
Puka Nakua, same as you, Mike. Staying away from him at Green Bay. Too expensive at 7,400. We don't know what's going on right now on a Wednesday night with Stafford. So right now, I'm definitely staying away from him. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson. That's a mess right there. We were talking about. We don't really even know who the quarterback's going to be. Who'd you say? What's his name?
Oh fuck, I forget. Jason
Right.
Hill? No, Jason Hall. No,
Jason Hall.
nope, that's not right.
No,
Something
It's not
Hall.
Jason.
it's something Hall.
It's
Some
Hall.
some Hall.
I have it right here.
Brees Hall.
Jaron Hall.
Jaron Hall.
Jaron.
Yeah, so I'm staying away from that until Jaron Hall can show that he can still keep TJ Hawkinson a relevant tight end. And then
Until I can remember his name, I'm not starting anybody on that offense.
yes, yep, it's a good way to go about it, honestly. And then defense, I'm with you, Andy. I got the Bucks. They're 4,000 at Houston. I'm high in Houston having a comeback week, so yeah, I'm not doing 4,000 for the Bucks. All right, that's everything. And again, these can change. These probably will change. Check it out on Saturday. Mike, you want to plug that again? Or?
The People's Fantasy Football. Smash that like button. Subscribe
We just
now.
lost- We just lost our one viewer, guys. Good job.
Yeah. We're fucked. All right, boys. Good show. You got anything else for us, Mike? Or?
No, just end it. I'm done.
All right, good show. So for
I gotta
Mike,
take another shit, Doug.
for
Sorry,
Mike, for Mike and Andy, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.